No, I'll bet you 20 bucks right now. But that's the problem. As a law enforcement officer, that should be your first job. You ask people for their ID and initiate traffic stops.
Right.
They're not a Terry stop if you can't articulate that they are in fact driving.
Right.
And that's where there's more people that are pushing for this kind of thing. I can't wait till I get pulled over again. Now that I know that it's
a motor vehicle when you're driving it?
it's not a motor vehicle when right. See, now that's where smarter people than me leave me in the dust, because I get in all these like fun games and stuff. We have legal games to see who's right and wrong, and then like they out the idiots, and then the idiots have to try to figure out why they were wrong. You don't see any motor vehicles around here until you start to look at the business stuff over there and over there. That's an automobile, that's an automobile. The person dumb enough to put a plate on it is telling the state they're consenting that it might not be an automobile. When you put plates on it, you register your property with the Uniform Vehicle Code. You know what that is, right?
Right, yeah.
Okay, that's motor
you gotta have that
Department of Motor Vehicle Code, right? Department of Motor Vehicle, not Department of Automobiles, because that would be unconstitutional.
Yeah.
And then you talk about going to court. Why should I waste my time going to court when I know the difference between an automobile, a commercial vehicle, and other people can't tell it? But there's people with case law that put not for hire. Are you telling me my life is in jeopardy if I put a not for hire private use only sign in the back of my window and I do not treat it as a Terry stop? Because if you tell me that my life might be in danger or I might possibly be drug out of the vehicle because I don't consent to any of the usual standard propaganda that is the stuff like seatbelt check, license, papers, stuff like that, I need to know if my life will be in jeopardy if I choose to exercise my constitutional rights again and be done with it. Sean dropped all the charges the last time a couple of years ago when the buffoons were trying it. I drove for a whole summer without plates, without a license, and I did everything. I took a breathalyzer in Shawano County through my window after they tried to sit me there for an hour, and finally I tried to figure out what they wanted because they were trying to figure out how to get me out of the vehicle. And when I figured out it was supposed drunk driving, then I took the breathalyzer and they let me go. The next day, Chris May and I forget his little butt buddy, the other one that likes to bash people's heads off the cruisers here, he was sitting there and they waited for me to come into town from work, and as soon as I got into town they followed me, and then all the way from Shell up until I got to BB Jack's is when he finally flipped the lights on. You know, I know the difference, and it's sad that I have to inform my government. That's what costs a lot of money that we could be using for other stuff other than teaching government a lesson. Why can't government play nice and do their job and preserve rights instead of trying to make a citizen fight for what our rights are? You know what I mean? There is nothing to be gained unless you make money off of stealing people's property, and then that's another situation that needs to be addressed. Because if then I want to be in on that theft too.
What they're going to do is they're going to let the judge determine what.
But he's not going to. That's my point. Now I'm going to pass my paper on to every person for the rest of my life, and this ordinance will never pass for anyone that knows I exist. Because I'm going to take my paper that I draw out, and I'm going to pass on all of my legal notifications to every person that is being misapplied, and you are willfully not taking action to correct it. That's what puts your name on a lawsuit, the same as I told them and the same as I've told you before.
Well,
it's not the court, and it sucks, but it shouldn't be that way.
Well,
I shouldn't have to challenge it. We shouldn't have a dick swinging match over property. Take your job and throw your badge off, please. If you don't care about rights, take your badge off, because laws are derived in it.
I gotta go.
Yeah, you don't. You don't care about...
As soon as I start talking, you don't want to listen.
Is there a difference between a vehicle and an automobile? You can't tell me that. A difference between a vehicle and an automobile. Ma'am, I need to do FOIA request stuff.
I'd have to do,
You should know that stuff. If you need me, I'll email you my information and I'll send it to Mike Winters to tell you I'm wrong.
I'll look it up.
I'll send you an email with my FOIA request.
All right.
Can you have her come out for my FOIA records? I need to do my paperwork, you know, the stuff. Can I do it here? She's right there. I would like to not further have my rights. So now we're using the reasonableness.
Well, I mean, it's not.
What's business hours, though? I was a speaker there with minutes until she leaves the property. Until she leaves the property, that's normal business. This is city council, and that's separate. Until both of us leave the property, it's not done, and she's still in capacity.
Okay.
So you're not going to get her?
I'll ask.
Thank you. Beautiful dog.
Do you have a request?
Yeah, I need to have the amount of vehicles that were towed and then the amount of automobiles that were towed under the ordinance that I spoke about during my meetings today. I need the last paycheck or all personnel file I am able to get from every city alderman in its entirety. I want to be able to come and inspect them at a reasonable time at my leisure and look at all of that information when it's compiled.
Okay, when
And-
you say all of that information, you need to be more specific.
I want to be able to look at their personnel records, such as like their application, disciplinary actions.
For alderpersons?
For alderpersons, city personnel like Mayor Brandt, people
Okay.
that make determinations in any sort of legal or official capacity. I want to be able to inspect it because I need to establish
Okay.
that there is a legal and official capacity here.
I need to have exactly the names of or positions of who you want. It can't just be all.
All aldermen.
All alderpersons?
All alderpersons and
Okay.
then all other city officials.
You need to tell me what city officials you want.
The city attorney, the city administrator.
Hold on just a second.
No, you or Mark Desital, which one's the difference when I say administrator? Because I was.
Mark says city administrator.
Okay, which one are you then?
Chief.
Oh, don't you have your other? Don't you have one of those cool titles too?
Director of Public Safety.
Director of Public Safety.
Okay,
I oversee the
that-
oversee the
Oh, that's
department.
fire department then? Oh, my bad. I thought that was city. See, thank you. Like, I didn't need to go to court to learn something. Thank you for being reasonable. Nope, just the chief of police, not his. They're different capacities. So the
So
chief
the
of
chief
police.
of police.
Yep. I don't care about the fire department stuff. And then I need to have Roger Musloff, the city inspector, his whole personnel file, the same thing. And then I need to have Roger Musloff's understanding and procedures. You know, his notes and clarifications that he's seeked through outside parties.
Okay, notes and clarifications on what subject?
Any and all pertaining to the two ordinances that were used against me.
And what time frame? Because any and all has to be more specific.
Any and all in the period of 2018 because it's going to be partially through the year.
Any all 2018
To present.
for
The two
ordinance
ordinances.
mentions today?
Yep.
Okay, I can get those.
The one is 38-408, and then the other one I think was 22-191. Sorry, didn't realize I had information from you. I'm not afraid of learning. So I need that, and then I need to have anything, any and all communications pertaining to my property, my vehicles and or automobiles, and then relative.
Wait a second.
Yep,
What's your address?
325 South Superior Street.
Okay, so any and all communication for your property at 325 South Superior.
And then in the same line where you would put 325 Superior, a separate search, like a query, Derek Sprague, anything that would use my legal name, because it's two different searches. And then I need to have the definition of an automobile and
Right,
the
whose definition?
the legal definition that the state falls back on and
Okay,
uses.
my answer to that one's going to be we don't give legal advice. You'll have to consult
Nope.
their
I'm
attorney.
asking for the tangible statute that motor vehicle code uses that determines them. It's already out there. It sounds annoying, but I need to make you guys provide it so you can't claim it doesn't exist.
Definition of legal. Okay, the
the-
definition of vehicle. Right?
The legal definition of a vehicle, the legal definition of an automobile.
Definition of vehicle and automobile.
Yep.
Okay, back to any and all communication on your property and you. What time frame? Because it has to be specific.
That one, the same thing, 2018 to current.
To current.
Yep. Both of them to current, 2018 to current. because he's taking action currently today, so. And then where would I go about the meeting? Is there a video of this?
No,
Anything?
We don't video.
Is there audio?
Audio.
Okay, and then I also need to do last week's audio and then today's audio.
Audio for last week's council.
The
and
one where
today.
I was present, yep.
And we only do those for transcription purposes. So if for some reason the tape wasn't started in time or wasn't started at all, you may not get it, and I'll let you know that.
Okay,
Because
so then I would have
we don't tape them for people, like for open records requests, we tape them for minutes.
Okay, so then you're saying that would be a written transcript, if anything, of what
No.
happened? Oh, there
It
wouldn't be nothing?
No, there would be no word for word transcript. And we don't keep those. We only keep those 90 days
Yep.
because we just use them for minutes,
Okay,
and minutes aren't verbatim.
I just need the letter. I just need the denial letter that it doesn't exist. Then, if that makes sense.
Yep.
Okay. Hopefully it's there, but if it doesn't,
I know the council one didn't get started quite on time, so that one will only be part of a meeting.
Yep. And then, like I said, I just need those viewable. I don't want copies of anything made. I just want it all compiled so I can view it at my leisure, not in a rushed manner kind of thing. And
Okay.
it's for public interest, whatever you want to word it, not the one where it's for my records. It's public interest because government personnel is acting. As a taxpayer, I have the right to see what my government is up to. Just to clarify, so there's no charge, this kind of thing, because...
Well, if I have to make any copies, there will be a charge.
And then we'll have to send that through the state and then see if that can be adjudicated, because for public record and viewing, the city should absorb that charge. I've already paid for all the copies. I just want to make sure that pathway is
And
there.
what I can also do, I will get together.
Hey, don't kick that. Get over here.
To go over all of your requests, and I will respond to you on what I can.
Do you have my contact information?
Not yet, but I will get to that.
Okay.
I will respond to you in writing.